Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
I'm curious how much of the upcoming standard that I believe will be built on XRP and Ripple, how much of that is already being talked about in these executive meetings in these different companies, say companies like Intel or Uber or Amazon, these large companies. I'm just curious, like, how much do you think XRP and Ripple are not necessarily talked about on a daily basis, but are part of a long-term vision on transformation that I believe is inevitable?
Yeah, so I'll put it this way. So, I'm an MBA, and most business higher-ups now are either MBAs or they go and get their MBAs after they've already taken an executive position. And it's really improved over the years in what we teach to business students and how we teach it. Part of that business myopia is going back to how most large companies, most unicorns, still only last 40 to 50 years. That's things like Sears and Roebuck or Macy's. These are companies that were at the top of the game at one point, and they're dead or dying, they're disappearing now. Toys R Us, Blockbuster, so on and so forth. And when you look at that, Amazon is already at its half-life.
Yeah.
If you consider just plain historically that a business of that size, it could be gone in 20 years. And how do they fix that? Well, Amazon is hiring thousands, probably 100,000 MBAs out there who it's nothing but their job to look forward to how do we fix this to future-proof this company so that it survives more than 20 years. And the way that they're going to do that is they're going to look at every last emerging technology out there, which is going to include blockchain. And in blockchain, they're going to find XRP as the most efficient, the fastest, and the most secure. And
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I actually, I work in the surgical robotics field as an engineer, and a lot of people have the misconception that, oh, Amazon's such a big company, they'll just build their own coin and they'll do this and this. The more and more you get into how these massive multi-billion-dollar businesses, multi-trillion-dollar businesses now are operating, everything is outsourced. It has become so hard to become an expert at multiple things. You need to, we outsource almost every piece of software we use because there's just always going to be a company that is hyper focused on that specific tool you need, and it's always going to be better than anything you could produce. And payments is one of the most complex issues the world has ever seen. No company like Amazon or Uber has even close to the amount of time it's going to take to make what Ripple and XRP have already built. Goes back to the whole issue of even using PayPal. I can't send my PayPal balance to my Venmo, and they're operated by a payments company. There's clearly huge issues with what's going on here, and these companies can't fix what the product that Ripple and XRP have to offer.
Well, and also people that think a company is just going to build their own, I would posit that the largest media company is Netflix, and they don't own any physical stores, right? They don't produce TVs. They don't. Now they're producing studio movies, but they weren't for a long time, right? The largest transportation company being Uber that doesn't own cars. The largest rental company is Airbnb, but they don't own property. Alright, so leveraging what you don't own is the fastest growing business model today. So if you think Amazon is better off to go and build from scratch, then you're really not paying attention to business trends, because the reality is Amazon is better off leveraging what's already out there.
Yeah, and strategically, that's exactly what we've seen, and these things aren't publicized for the reasons we talked about earlier. BlackRock never gets the publicity, Swift never gets the publicity, all these massive banks that are really the central banks behind our economic system don't get the publicity. But meanwhile, while we have this going on, we see executives from Amazon being sent to Ripple. Rather than them building their own copy of what Ripple and XRP already are, they're sending over their highest level people and saying, okay, how can we work this system that you already have into our current business practices? And if you see the high level people Ripple's recruiting, they are coming from the tech giants all over the world. They are sending over their people to Ripple so that they can help tailor their system to what they need. That's one of the things that I was kind of watching, where it kind of all clicked to me, where I was thinking, like, there's no, like, all these people need to do is send over one high level executive that already has the connections back to this company, and then boom, you have an instant in for incorporating this payment system directly into your business.
Exactly, and that's the biggest indicator with Ripple and XRP was Rosie Rios. Rosie Rios has her name on more fiat currency than anyone in the history of the world, right? And, you know, she's the former Treasury of the United States. You just can't imagine any situation where she calls a small country, you know, Lithuania or Estonia or Ethiopia, and they don't answer the phone, right? So, you know, for me, I've traveled to many, you know, developing nations, and I know how the government works, and I know how small those governments really are. You know, I'll sit with presidents or governors of foreign nations, and really they compare roughly to a mayor in small town America, typically in their demeanor and the way that they handle things. So when Rosie Rios gives them a call, of course they're going to sit down with her. They sit down with me. So, you know, it's unreal to think that Ripple isn't opening doors in small areas, and the reality is if they can get their foot in the door in 50 small countries, the rest of the world has to follow suit.
Yeah, so this is something I talk about a lot too, because a lot of people get like, oh, why not XLM? Why not this other payment token? And I'm like, alright, well, those might have a place in the future, and like, but the thing XRP has that no other blockchain company or blockchain token has is they have Ripple, and Ripple has these connections, like you're saying, that get them in the door. I mean, I cannot stress how important that is. I mean, even me, I have this small middle markets business. When I talk to larger influencers, because of my size, many times I cannot get my foot in the door. But if I had Rosie Rios as part of Mickle Markets, then I would get my foot in the door everywhere. And that is the thing that Ripple has that none of these other companies have. They have an executive team that is going to help them build the connections. So even if you have another blockchain that might has another extra 200 TPS and they can handle another couple transactions a second, it's not going to matter because they don't have the team behind it getting them into all these crazy places. And Ripple is one of the most impressive executive teams I've seen on any other company.
Yeah, I mean, and just because there's something better out there that's maybe better technology, I mean, there's great burger joints all over the world, right? That doesn't make them McDonald's.
Yeah, outstanding. Yeah, that's.
I don't even like a McDonald's hamburger, but they're still McDonald's.
No, and you see that everywhere, and I think one of the reasons why I think it's a little more it's more prevalent in blockchain just because it's so easy to spin up a new token. It's just software, so you see like a million different copies of a lot of the time the same thing. But I mean, just look at Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum has had crazy fees. It's been almost unusable for a long time now, and it's still the standard of development because that's where the influential people are. That's where the money is. That's where the project is. A lot of the times, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the best technology. Regardless of what Ethereum has done in the past to get where it is today, they have clearly talked to the right people, they have made the right connections, and you can see that reflected in the value of the token. It's the only one even close to Bitcoin, and for whatever reason that might be the case, it shows that the technology is not always going to instantly get you there. You need good tech, but you also need a team that's going to get you in the door.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Ethereum also has benefited from the fact that a lot of people in terms of mainstream media has diverted a lot of attention to Ethereum and Bitcoin. If you ask your average normie investor who says, oh, I'm invested in cryptocurrencies, it's like, what's your portfolio? They say, I have about 70% Bitcoin and 30% Ethereum. It's like, yeah, I could have guessed that one.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.